What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so according to multiple reports, Ben Simmons, once seen as the future face of the NBA, former, I believe, Rookie of the Year, a guy who at one point in time was seen as a successor to LeBron James, is considering retirement from the league. And I, for one, hope he does, and I view it as an absolute celebration because this man, along with Kawhi Leonard and many others, have been stealing money from the NBA for years. Okay? Yes, some of it is injuries, as far as his decline as far as a basketball player. Okay? But we've heard rumblings from scouts and, coaches going back to when he was a prep player about his bad habits, about how he didn't seem to have that love for the game that was necessary to be a great, all-time great player in the NBA. We hear about the distractions, him focusing more on the material side of the game and on, let's be honest, women, getting pussy. He was more concerned about clubbing than going in the gym and working on his game. Every now and then he would put out some, during the off season, his last 4 or 5 years, he's annual videos of him supposedly working on his game, shooting in an empty, pressureless gym, and that's supposed to fool us into thinking he's going to have some monster year, only to still be scared scoring in the post against guys that are 6'2". That shit don't fool nobody. Once the athleticism declined, and once the mental block ingratiated itself into his game, he was a shell of himself, man. And, certain guys you feel sorry for because they're putting in the work. What happened to Grant Hill, I don't want to say a tragedy because he came back and had a good career and he's in the Hall of Fame. But you feel for Grant Hill because you know what he was capable of. You know the career that he should have had. When you look at Penny Hardaway, hell, what career he should have had. I still say to this day, from a all-around skill aspect, Penny Hardaway, from a talent perspective, is one of the top 5 players I've ever seen in my life. Penny Hardaway could defend. Penny Hardaway could score in the post. Penny Hardaway could score either hand. Penny Hardaway had a mid-range. Penny Hardaway had developed at least a dependable three-point shot. He could rebound well. He could facilitate like a motherfucker. He could score, if need be, like a Michael Jordan, or at least somewhat in that range. He could block shots. He could be a danger in the fast-paced situation, like in a front court. Not front court, excuse me. In a full court situation. He can be dangerous in the half court. But, that's those who watch Penny in those few fleeting years before the injuries. But Ben Simmons, man. I remember too many times him failing to come out. I remember when he was with Brooklyn And it was supposed, it was reported that he was going to come out and make an effort to play with his teammates and be out there and help his teammates have a chance against Boston back in 2022. And he didn't do it. He didn't do it. And, too many times we've seen this guy just sitting on the bench, not playing, or going out there and doing really absolutely nothing, man. Underperforming and not wanting to shoot, refuse to shoot the three in a era that the teams are taking almost 43 pointers a night. I mean, what use are you? Soft as tissue. So yeah, if he's retired, does anybody really give a fuck? Now I think it's really just that, he senses that nobody wants him. Nobody wants him. I just hope that Ben Simmons, at least in the last couple of years, shored up his financial situation, because there were some reports a few years ago that he was living paycheck to paycheck. So I hope that he shored that up, and this might be the end of the road for old Ben Simmons. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's some team that's idiotic enough to give him yet another chance, but nah. Maybe Ben can go into broadcasting or something. I don't know. Go into broadcasting, and maybe that's the lane for you. Maybe that's maybe he'll be better as a broadcaster and an analyst than he ever was, consistently at least, as a basketball player. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.